Hello there, and welcome to today's edition of our breakfast show here on iBrand. It is Daybreak, and my name is Michael Nath. I'm not doing this alone. I have got with me here, I know you must be expecting me to say Margaret. No, she's unavoidably absent. But in her place, we have somebody here as fantastic as Margaret to step into her shoes and ensure that we dish out the goodies we have in store for you this morning on the show. You want to know the person I'm talking about? Wait for it. It's none other than Success Communist. Good morning, Success.
Good morning, Michael. I feel like a celebrity, you know,
But
introducing.
take it or leave it, you are a celebrity in every
Thank you
sense of
so
the word.
much. I hope your night rest was wonderful as mine.
I managed to make it as pleasant as possible.
That's amazing. So today on the show, as usual, we'll be having news update, the newspaper review, the topic of today. That is the topic we're going to be discussing, and then sports. After which we'll have the Tweets Central. So moving on to the news update. President Muhammadu Buhari says the death of the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Ibrahim Atahiru, and 10 other military officers have increased Nigeria's security challenge. He regretted that the bad incident happened at a time the country is battling security issues. Buhari spoke on Monday when he received a delegation from the Nigeria Governors Forum who came to the presidential villa, Abuja, to condole with him on Friday's air crash that happened in Kaduna.
President Muhammadu Buhari has also ordered the postponement of the Federal Executive Council meeting in honor of the deceased Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Ibrahim Atahiru, and 10 other officers and men. Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, made this known in a circular he issued on Monday in Abuja. Mustafa said the president also directed that the scheduled police council meeting for Thursday be postponed. He said President Buhari has urged all citizens to use this period of mourning to pray for the repose of the souls of the departed and strength for their families to bear the painful loss.
And moving on, the House of Representatives is considering dissolving of the National Youth Service Corps scheme. The Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria Alteration Bill 2020, which is seeking to repeal the NYSC Act, is billed for the second reading. The sponsor, Awaji Abiante, listed various reasons why the NYSC should be scrapped, including incessant killing and kidnapping of corps members in some parts of the country due to banditry, religious extremism, and ethnic violence. He also added that public and private agencies and departments no longer recruit qualified Nigerian youths because they rely heavily on the availability of corps members who are not being well paid.
Outside Nigeria now, the United States has begun restricting visas for government and military officials of Ethiopia and Eritrea, seen as undermining efforts to resolve the deadly fighting in Ethiopia's Tigray region, saying it is time for the international community to take action in a conflict that has sparked allegations of ethnic cleansing and fears of famine. Now, the Ethiopian government called the action misguided and regrettable in a response issued on Monday. The statement tweeted by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the Ethiopian government will not be deterred by this unfortunate decision of the U.S. Now, Success has the last story.
Now, European Union leaders agreed on Monday to impose more sanctions on Belarus, including economic ones called on their airlines to avoid the former Soviet Republic's airspace, and authorized work to ban Belarusian airlines from European skies and airports. Now, European Council President Charles Michel told a news conference after the meeting in Brussels that the 27 national leaders of the bloc demanded an immediate release of dissident journalist Roman Protasevich, as well as an investigation by the International Organization for Civilian Aviation into a Sunday incident during which Belarus forced Iranian air flight to land in Minsk. Head of the bloc's executive, European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen said Belarus used its control over its airspace in order to perpetrate a state hijacking. Therefore, the safety and security of flights through Belarus airspace could no longer be trusted. The EU currently has a travel ban and an asset freeze in place on 88 Belarusians, including Alexander Lukashenko and 7 companies over Minsk crackdown on protests following a contested.
Okay.
So moving on, Michael.
It's okay, it's all right. And that wraps it up on the news updates this morning. At this juncture, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we have the newspapers review. Stay with us.
Welcome back. If you're just tuning in, this is iBrand Daybreak, and we are moving straight into the newspaper review segment. And our guest for today is Okuk Utibe. He is a sound engineer and business advisor.
Hello,
Welcome,
Cook. Good morning
Okuk.
and welcome to the show.
Good morning.
So I was just asking him where the name stems from, and he said Akwa Ibom. I was like, I was right about it.
Ah, quite well. What could that mean? Ukuk?
Okuk means money.
Wow.
So we're in the presence of money.
And you can feel it, especially with the
You
stature.
didn't even ask for the other part of my name. My name is Utibe Okuk.
Okay.
Meaning wonderful money.
Money.
Fantastic.
Wow.
Amazing.
Not just
Wonderful.
ordinary money, but
Not
wonderful
just
one. Interesting.
Okay.
Yeah, you got
Moving-
the first report.
Of course. So we are reading straight from this day newspaper. The screaming headline says, Buhari queries legality of Southern governor's ban on open grazing. OK's ranching revival of grazing reserves take off in June. We have Atairu's death has increased our problems, says President. OPS excited over manufacturing sector's recovery from COVID's headwinds. World Bank mules COVID-19 vaccine production in Africa. And at the bottom part, we have Akeredolu Fayemi backs Southwest leaders' resolution on secession restructuring. Okay, we have more details of this on page 5 of the D-Stay Daily. And finally, we have governors pay condolence visit. Experts suggest possible cause of a crash.
And we're continuing with the punch. The banner headline there, Asaba Declaration. Governors disagree as presidency backs Malami on the open grazing ban. At the very, very lowest part of the paper, we have Lagos Ogun sign MOU on Joint Development Commission. Abuja-bound nutritionists missing for 18 days between Ogun, Lagos, and ex-Niger governor blackmailer, chronic liar, serial betrayer. That is from Governor Wike. Success, back to you.
Okay, so we are reading now from the Nigerian Tribune. Arsonist, or rather, the screaming headline, presidency attacks Southern governor, accuses them of providing no solution, says stance on open grazing has questionable legalities. Now, Makinde chides APC for not fielding candidates in all your local government polls. We have more details on page 22. Edo PDP crisis. Obaseki's loyalists begin gradual takeover of structures. PDP finances, not EFCC's business. Both. Arsonist, that's on the top left of the newspaper Nigerian Tribune, arsonists threaten Anambra governor election. INEC. 7 vehicles, 376 generating set burnt. Now, reps query NHIS over 152 million spent on face masks, hand sanitizers, others. More details on page 26. And now moving to the bottom part, we have Buhari receives NEMA's 2020 report, inducts 1.9 billion naira Japanese disaster reduction equipment. Gunmen kill 15 in 2 communities in Plateau. We have more details on page 27. Only God can wipe my tears. Asani, late pilot's father. Loss of officers has increased our problem. Buhari, we are seeing a repeat here. Reps move to scrap NYSC. Back to you, Michael.
Thank you very much now, and that's the last now coming from The Nation. The topmost portion of the paper, we have more INEC offices raised in Anambra, Enugu, Imo. Why autonomy for legislature, judiciary is key by agency DG. Presidency slams southern governors open grazing ban. That's the banner headline there. Many interesting headlines there, but I would rather want to have some more talk on presidency slamming southern governors open grazing ban. And I'm coming back to you, Utuk.
Okuk, I think.
Utuk. All right.
It's okay.
Okay. All right. Now, that's the headline I would want you to further talk about. Presidency slamming southern governors open grazing ban. What is wrong with this? And why is the presidency not comfortable with this very development?
Well, I think we've got into a stage where everybody wants to own Nigeria, as it were. For a long time, we've just been quiet and watching the happenings going on around. You know, I was in the north some days ago, and I sat in a taxi, and the young Hausa man kept telling me that they own Nigeria. Now, there's this rumor, you know, that the president is biased. You know, I call it a rumor because I don't have proof if he's biased or not. Now, he's saying this because it has gotten to a stage where people are now speaking up. Once upon a time, the southern guys would just keep quiet, not say anything. You could hear a lot of killings here and there, you know, and then nobody was pointing fingers. But right now, the young man is pointing fingers. The young man, Sunday Igboho, is pointing fingers, and it seems that the southern governors too, you know, it's like it's coming closer to them, you know. So now they are speaking up, and now it's like a play of power. The presidency is now saying that this, you know, shouldn't be. So I really feel that because we have spoken up from the southern end, you know, somebody has to come up to speak. And everybody always says the presidency. Well, we don't know which part of the presidency speaks, but we hear that the presidency speaks.
When we hear the presidency, definitely it is authoritatively referring to the president.
Of course.
Because the president constitutes the presidency. President and all those working with him. And for anything to have come from the presidency, that means that thing must have the nod of the president himself. Now, what would you see? What about you, your personal opinion? Would you say that the southern governor's decision on placing the ban?
Him in.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, let's get his view on that.
Okay, I agree. Let's hear you.
Would you okay that very move by the southern governors banning open grazing? Okay, and what are your reasons?
The reason I would okay it is because we've had, these things are no more hidden. These things are drawing closer to us like every other day. You know, you get to every border town in the southwest, and the predominant people you meet there are northerners. You know, I traveled to Abuja by road some weeks ago, and at each border town, I'm shocked to find out that you have northerners there. They park their tankers indiscriminately. Their cows are moving indiscriminately, and then nobody's saying anything. You know, they're encroaching into people's lands and properties. Nobody's saying anything. I think it's high time somebody speaks up.
So let me come in here real quick. So they said on that, this is from the This Day newspaper, it says the president okays ranching, revival of grazing reserves to take off in June. So what's your take? Since he's preferring something that seems like a solution, ranching,
yeah.
do you think it's going to be effective here in Nigeria?
Well, ranching is good, but the question is the mass of land in the north, what are we using it for? Must you push your animals to the south before they can eat? And these guys trek this distance. Wherever they get to, they pitch their tent. They create a small community for themselves. You know, so if you're going to give that as a solution, why not start from where we have larger areas and mass areas of land? You know, if you start from there, then we can accept it. You know, if we start from there, then we can say we are creating a database where these people could be registered, so that if anything happens, we will know who to hold. Because the thing is, we really don't know who to hold.
Right.
We don't know who to point accusing fingers at. You know, as it were, it's as if there's a veil on these people's faces. We only hear that it has happened here again. Before you know, they say, oh, they were wearing these kind of things. You know, funny enough, it might not even be the Fulani headsmen like we hear them say. Because I can wear the jalamia or dress like them, and then I look exactly like them. But the thing is, when you go further to ask questions, you begin to hear that they were speaking this language. And the language is predominantly from one area of Nigeria, and that's the north.
True.
So if you're profiling that as a solution, then start from your domain. Charity begins at home. Start from there.
All right.
Charity begins at home, of a truth.
Well, what a way to end that discussion there. Thank you very much, Okuk Utibe.
Got that right.
You're still very much around, and we are going to come back to you directly after this time out. Success, you have the major story.
Yeah, so we're going to be talking about something related to business. Hard work is very good, but these days it's not just about working hard. You also need to work smart. On today's episode of the program, we will be talking about how to position your business for success. Now, most businesses run down not because they are not hardworking, but because they are missing one or two vital steps or strategy. So if you are a business person, you don't want to miss this segment, okay? So throwing more light on this topic is someone we already have in the studio. He is a sound engineer and business advisor, Mr. Okuk Utibe. Fantastic. It's really
pleasure.
good to have you here.
Thank you once again.
Thanks
So
for staying
we
with us.
would want to kick off with trying to know the basic factors to consider before one gets into starting a business.
Well, for me, the basic factors one should consider when you want to start a business is to look at your skill set. You need to understand what you're capable of doing. Because you don't just wake up and then say, because Dangote is selling, you know, all the beverages and all those things, and then you want to jump into it. You don't want to wake up and then say, because Amazon has a big, you know, online store, you want to jump into it. There are some basic things you need to find out. Do you have the resilience? Do you have the skill? Do you have the, as it were, the knowledge? Because a lot of people jump into business without even knowing a bit of what they're going into. And it's like running into a thick forest and there is probably no route for you. You have to create a path. And in creating that path, you have to, it's like making a career for yourself. Meaning if I go in this way, I would definitely work out this way. You know, so you need to hone that skill. You need to have, first of all, a skill. Because for me, before I got into business, I began to learn certain things about what I was going into. I didn't just wake up and then feel, okay, this is the best thing that would happen to me. Or I didn't feel this is the way I should go. And then I started doing it. For God's sake, I had to go and learn this skill. You know, so for me, the first thing you need to learn is to get that skill. Learn the skill, know it to a certain point. You might not know everything, you know, because as we go, we learn. You know, we don't know everything. That's why you move from year 1 to year 2 in your university. to year 3, and then to the final level where you're exposed to a lot of things. So that's how business is. You need to have the skill. You need to understand what you're, trying to venture into. And then you also need to get a network of people around you who would, show you the way. You don't just like when we were born, we didn't just come out and then start running. We crawled, and then we walked and fell down, and then we started walking, and then we become grown-ups, and then at some point we go on and then retire. For business, you need to understand that it's a process. And this process, you must find out what you want to do. So for me, I began to have networks of people around me. I began to ask questions, because the young folks here in this generation feel that business is just about jumping in and making the money. It's not about jumping in and making the money. For God's sake, if you don't have anything to sell, what are you going into business for? If you don't have any service to offer, what are you going into business for? If you don't have anything to give, what are you going into business for? So you need to start from these angles. You need to have a basic skill. You then need to get a network of people who would actually teach you. When we were in the nursery school, we had nannies. We got to a stage where we had teachers who would flog us. Now you have to have nannies in your business, empire. You need to have people who would coach you, who would teach you, who would pamper you, as it were. Then when you get to a level, they don't pamper you anymore. If they need to knock your head,
they will.
They should knock your head. If they need to slap you, it should be done, because you're not getting into a joke. This is real life. Some people could kill you for not, delivering what you have said you will deliver. So you need to get into the real thing and then not the fiction. So you get into where you learn your skill, get into where you have a lot of people mentor you and coach you, and then you get to a place where you then stand alone and then have other people you could call, because really, you don't have all the knowledge. You're not an island of knowledge. I mean, you could call somebody on the field and say, okay, I am in this fix. What did you do when you were not? So these are the guys you should, go around with, and then you've done the career, you've done the tutelage level, and then you're standing on your own. That's how business starts.
And then you're finally starting your business. It reminds me of what Igbo people call Iba boy. That is to go and learn under your master.
Oh, okay.
Yes, and then after a few
under
years,
apprenticeship.
yes,
apprenticeship.
like apprenticeship.
Yeah, I think the Igbo apprenticeship scheme has also been approved by a certain body to be taught in business schools.
Wow.
Because really now there's no stronger force than these guys. You find guys that don't, they can't even command English.
True.
But they are owning empires. They are owning big stores, big shops, and you're wondering, how do they
How are they doing it?
There's a scheme, there's a technique they have, and I think it should be studied. And I think the introduction of this in business schools really do a lot to the guys who are coming out from the universities and whoever wants to jump into business.
Speaking of the universities, I wanted to ask him a question, Michael, about business is entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
Now, in this day and age, there are two forms. Whether you are selling, whether it's a service or product.
Yeah.
Now, what is the difference? Say I'm going into, what's the difference? How does one person who is trying to start up a business, let us say maybe it's web developing, and then somebody who is trying to sell maybe body cream, what is the difference while starting up these businesses?
Well, the difference is just a thin line.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, what all of us want is money.
At the end of the day.
At the end of the day.
Yeah, sure.
You can't do business without getting money. It's wrong.
That's the essence of business.
Do you understand? So if you're starting a body cream kind of business, and then somebody who is doing the web design thing. Now, the difference is that the body cream person could just probably learn in a few training sessions, get what he wants, meaning he spends lesser time to learn the trade. Do you understand?
Okay.
But the web guy needs to spend morning, noon, night, and overnight. Do you understand? To hone his skill. Now, you don't expect these two people to earn the same thing. That's where the difference really lies. Because this one is spending more time, this one is spending less time.
Meaning, if you spend more time, you're going to earn more?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm only saying that if you spend more time, You know, it depends. It really depends on what you're venturing into. You know, web development is not as easy as it seems.
It's a soft skill.
Do you understand? Web development will take you time, energy, and probably environment. Back in the days when I first designed my own website, I sat somewhere in Lagos and I didn't have these ideas. I couldn't put this picture to this picture. I couldn't put this color to this color. I couldn't put things together. But I left there and went somewhere in Ogun State. And I got into a very serene environment. Now, when I opened my hotel room curtain, I saw a plantation with palm trees on the left and on the right. Now, it gave me, it reminded me of the Ikoyi design. You know, there's a particular design Ikoyi has.
Yeah.
And you know, there are these kind of houses you just see in Ikoyi and you're excited.
Like
not because you've not because you've entered those houses before, but you really just want to take a selfie around there. You know, these are the things we look at. Now, this doesn't mean you're going to be as successful as or more successful as. Do you understand? But it really shows that some things will take time. Some things will take energy. Some things will take your sweat. It will take creativity. But I mean, I could just bring this oil, coconut oil,
mix it,
avocado oil.
God.
I mix in my house. I say, okay, this portion will do. I take more oil, more coconut oil, or more avocado. It's my own preference. No, I'm not thinking too much about it. But the web designer is there thinking, so he's thinking about a whole lot of stuff. Saying, okay, if I put blue here, will it work for this company? What's their brand color? What does their logo look like? He's thinking about a whole lot of stuff.
It requires more creativity.
Good.
More creativity.
That's what I'm heading at. So if you look at that, then you look at the person who is trying to go into the skincare thing. You know, it's really a thin line. But I mean, that thin line shows you how large a lot of other people will do and how small these other guys will do.
All in business.
There is no business one can start without thinking of money. The fund to start a business. So that takes us to the question, how does one raise capital?
Wow. This question really looks like I'm writing a project. You know, when you write a project, you just discover that you are having more pages than you thought you would write.
Oh, sure.
And you keep, you know, because from generation to generation, these things change. It's not the way Dangote got money that you will get money.
True.
This time around, somebody wants to know, who is this man? Why am I giving him my money? Even banks are scared. They are wondering, won't this guy elope with my money? You know, I've tried everything to get bank loans to do stuff, but really, it's as if it doesn't just work for me. But when I do some things in the other way, meaning I give out my service, money just comes. So for some people, you could try to get money from the bank, it doesn't work. For some others, you just give your service and then it works for you. Now, raising funds in Nigeria is crazy. Nobody wants to give you their money because there's this fear in town. There's this fear all around.
And
in those days,
understandably so.
Good. In those days, we had trust. My father would tell me, don't worry, when you finish reading, you will get to a point when you start working, the car will be given to you. Those days, it was 504. And when I was young, I said I would never drive any other car than a 504 Peugeot. But today, where is Peugeot now? You know.
Moribund.
Now, the way they assess those things those days is not the way we are now. Everybody's, let's just grab and keep. Everybody wants to keep their money. So if you're going to, you need all the energy you have. In Nigeria today, you hear of connections. Some people talk about good luck. You know, wishful thinking. Some people will just wish and say, if I had. But really, assessing loans or assessing funds has to do with the skill you have to bring on the table.
Okay.
You put a skill on the table, and then somebody sees it and says, it is this guy I want. I'm not trying to blow my trumpet here, but I woke up this morning and I saw a message on my phone saying, I am going to be sent into Uyo and then Port Harcourt. And I was wondering, am I the only person in this organization? And then I got into, I didn't know I didn't even know I spoke out. And then the guy who was driving me heard me. I said, okay, maybe it's because you have the skill they want. And that sank in. Now, people will pay you for what you can do. If you don't bring that to the table, money doesn't come your way.
So we're asking now, I'm not selling a skill, I'm selling product. How do I even get what to mix with, what to mix at all?
You know, like I said, this question is like a project for me. You know, I taught some students, I told them, I said, business is like helping somebody, an organized structure, to market their products.
Okay.
Meaning that really, you don't need anything. You don't need money. You don't need anything to raise funds. And why did I say so? Some days ago, somebody called me and was thanking me. And I said, because he attended my business, chat. I had just a small business chat with some people, and he happened to be there. And I said, why did he come back to thank me? And he said, because the things I said when we had the chat was the fact that even if you don't have a product, have a page. We are in the days of technology. I don't need to have a physical store. Just let me be consistent in posting a particular thing. Don't post so many things. Post a particular thing consistently for a while. Like a lady who began to sell skincare products. She didn't have a store. She didn't have money. And so we said, okay, you have a phone. She said, yes. You're on WhatsApp. She said, yes. I said, okay, start posting these things. Tell them the price and tell them to pay, and then you deliver. Now, she doesn't have money. She doesn't have the big store. But I'm saying, post these products, but tell them your payment validates your orders. And she did just that. And she had over 100 people come to her and say, we want this product. And people were paying.
I won't go for
and I said to her, make sure you deliver. Because that is the currency you have now. Your integrity. Make sure you deliver. They don't know you, but they sent money to you. Then it means God has just helped you. Make sure you take those things and go and deliver. Take your own profits and then deliver. And then as you go, you continue to raise your voice and then keep on saying, this is what I sell. Don't change what you sell because something else is selling. Keep selling that thing. And at a point, who knows, that might just be your empire.
Which brings us to advertising. Because you mentioned social media. Now, as a startup, I am just starting up. How do we market our business? Now, I'm not just talking about products, even services. How do we put ourselves out there?
Well, for me, like I tell people, I am a Christian, by the way. And I tell people, take advantage. The scripture says, take advantage of every opportunity. Now, I go, okay, I've been into several hotels these few days. And then I sit there and I wonder, what benefit do I have from these hotels? And then there's just this Wi-Fi, strong Wi-Fi. Nobody has, we don't have a lot of traffic on this particular network. And I'm just sitting there in the room with my laptop. I mean, I should start taking pictures and writing an article. There's an article I'm going to put up about the hotel rooms I've visited. Because the truth is, just last week I got a diploma sitting in a hotel room. How did I do it? I just went online, typed a course I wanted to, take, and they told me it will take you 15 hours. And I said, okay, I'm learning Friday, I'm coming back Monday. So I could take 3 hours on each day, or I take 4, 4, 4, 3. Do you understand? Now I'm taking advantage of that opportunity. Now, if I see a product that I like this cup,
okay,
I create a page, and then I take beautiful pictures from all angles. All I need to do is to post the pictures, and I will stay at it. The truth is, the moment you keep staying at it,
consistency. Somebody
somewhere will ask you, I need this thing. One day somebody might just pass and say, but I always see it on your status. It means you have access to it. Please give it to me. But if you start taking pictures of this, that you become like somebody who has the multiple personality disorder thing.
A rolling stone.
You understand? There's no specific thing they can attribute to you. Then it means you don't want to do business.
Okay. We've always been advised to start small.
Okay.
If one had the wherewithal, is there anything wrong in starting big?
There's everything wrong in starting big. because you will always encounter failures. And if you start big, your failure will be big.
Oh,
Wow.
okay.
Your failure will be big. I'm sorry. That's my own perspective. Your failure will be seriously big. Now imagine you buying, if you're an importer, somebody, I also import stuff from China. And so I saw a product. I didn't tell my partner I was going to buy it. But I placed an order for it. This was during COVID. There was no way I could trace these people. There was no way I could run an investigative whatever about who I was buying from. But I just believed that what I was buying was genuine. And so I placed the order. Not small money. Heavy stuff. And so my friend called me and said, Tibe, you talked about this product. Have you actually gotten this product? And then I said to him, I've paid for it. He said, you have been scammed. I said, I've not been scammed yet. Let us wait till they say they are not delivering. Then I would understand that I've been scammed. Do you understand? And so I put my money into it. Lo and behold, the thing got to where I was. It was delivered to me.
Wow.
And the guy said, how did I do it? I said, I took a big risk. And even me, I was afraid. And I knew that if I had lost it, I'd lost money. Do you understand? Now, what makes me say that if you invest big, you might lose big, do you understand? Is that on every journey, there is always you always have setbacks, whether we like it or not. The children of Israel, when they got to River Jordan, that was a big setback for them. If God did not intervene, it would have been issues for them. But for the other people who were chasing them, it was still a setback because they perished there. Now, for you you want to start something, you don't have mentors, you don't have advisors, you don't have like the nannies I talked about. Do you understand? Then, if you walk and then fall, who picks you up?
Oh, thank you very much. That's a very big question for the one out there. Yeah, we've been talking with Okuk Utibe, sound engineer and business advisor. I learned so much from you.
I did as well. Thank you so much. I was even telling you how I should enroll for one of these your WhatsApp classes.
We'll talk about
that.
That's
for coming.
That's different for our program. Thank you so much. And have a great day, okay? Now, we're going to take a breather. When we come back, we have Jidichi and Sports Review.
True unripe plantain flour is 100% natural flour gotten from the processing of unripe plantain. It contains no addictive and has a net content of 500 grams. True unripe plantain flour contains vitamin A, B6 and C. It is gluten-free and rich in calcium. Consuming through unripe plantain flour helps to build and strengthen stronger bones and can be a great meal for diabetic patients. It decreases your chances of constipation as it has a high fiber content and provides you with a low-fat diet. Here are some steps to prepare your through unripe plantain flour. Firstly, mix through unripe plantain flour with hot water in a pot and gradually add water till you achieve desired thickness. Place over medium heat and turn very well for 4 to 5 minutes to get the right texture. Mold into a ball and place in a bowl and allow to cool. Serve with your choice of soup. Through unripe plantain flour can be eaten with any variety of soup, be it your ofe oha, ofe onugbu, begiri, ewedu, or your miyan kuka. To get your through unripe plantain flour, contact us at 12 Olowera Isheri Road by First Welder bus stop off Omole Phase 2, Olowera, Lagos, Nigeria, or call 070-6663-8213 or 081-6397-4447. Distributors.
Fresh from the farm, it good for body. No chemical at all. This na real Bunga. No more wahala or pandy wash. Just put on for fire and your food is ready. Everybody follow me to Bunga. Hey Bunga. Oh, make you follow me to parade. Bunga cook don't easy. See, Bunga na palm fruit wey dem comot, put am inside can. You fit use Bunga cook any kind soup wey you like, and other food dem like rice, beans, and even yam. Na Pali Agro Product Limited dem dey manufacture am. For distribution, make you call 070 666 38213. Bunga, for make your food yummy.
Powerful looks command respect, they say. The perfect body, the perfect grooming, and ultimately the perfect skin. Looks, style, and grooming makes the ultimate man. Found a ridiculously easy way to make my skin always feel epic. My name is Neo. I found Blemiviv, and now my skin finally makes sense.
Swift Dry Cleaners Limited, professional dry cleaners, best in dry cleaning and laundry services that meets the needs of our consumers. Yeah, Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Yeah. Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Yeah, for clean wash and quick delivery. Yeah, Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. For clean wash and quick delivery.
Swift Dry Cleaners. Clean wash.
Welcome back. This is iBrand Daybreak, and I would always say good morning to you, Nigeria. Good morning, Michael. Good morning, success. Let's talk about some of the stories emanating from the world of sports. Talk about the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Yes, yesterday we saw a revised list of the 24 players that would be facing Cameroon later next month in June, when the Super Eagles will be playing a friendly game. Remember, this one comes in as the Super Eagles World Cup qualifying games got moved from June till September. So the NFF decided while the players would not be playing that one, they would be taking on some other things, some other assignments, and that is some friendly games, one of which would be the one against Cameroon. Yes, we've seen likes of Frank Onyeka return to the team, and while Frank Onyeka is returning, the likes of Samuel Chukwueze is absent from that one. Joe Aribo is also absent from that one. Notable names. Ikechukwu Ezenwa is also one of the players that got axed from those team. Yeah, remember the Super Eagles, they released the list earlier on, but the coach Gernot Rohr, he cuts down the list of the players to 24, and this the one you can see right now is the updated version of that team. Well, it's not a part to be talking about why a player should not be there or why a player should be there. It's the work of the coach. I mean, Gernot Rohr has done his own part. Now the time the Super Eagles will be taken to the pitch, it's going to be the work of the players to ensure they can get the much needed 3 points in that one, even though it's a friendly game. Yeah, I mean, bragging rights are expected in that one. Let's move on and talk about Pep Guardiola, who's been voted the coach of the season. Yeah, the League Managers Association. Yeah, Guardiola winning that one. Well, expectedly, you would say, because he is the one that came up tops amongst the 20 managers in the English Premier League. Yes,
he was able to show that he had what it takes to be the best of the best. And that's because Manchester City were able to win the league title this season. So yeah, Guardiola once again the manager of the season according to the League Managers Award. I would say congratulations are in order to the big man Pep Guardiola. Now let's move on from Guardiola and talk about a little bit of controversy. Talk about the Spanish national team squad and talk about Sergio Ramos. Yes, Sergio Ramos. Yesterday we heard by the Spanish media that he was left out by Spanish coach Luis Enrique from the Spanish team that would be heading to the Euros 2020. And it's quite interesting considering the fact that that Ramos is the most capped Spanish player and also the Spanish captain. But it's something that you want to say, little bit of politics right there, considering that Luis Enrique is a former Barcelona manager, and for the first time in a very, very, very long while, we will not be having any players from Real Madrid featuring for the Spanish national team. And Ramos came out yesterday, took to his Instagram account to say why he would have loved to lead the team to Euros. He is also cheering them on to victory. And trust Ramos to also add a little bit of controversy in his tweet. He ended with the hashtag Hala Madrid, somehow relating to the fact that no Real Madrid players were named in that one. But I think that's the issue of the Spaniards and the Spanish national team. And we'll just watch the Euros and see if Spain can also come out tops in that one. Now let me round off talking about basketball and what Giannis Antetokounmpo is doing right there in the NBA playoffs. Yes, the Bucks took on the Miami Heat yesterday, and guess who came up tops? It was the Bucks that came up 2-0 winners over the Heat, and it's interesting how Antetokounmpo was able to get 31 incredible points for himself. It was a festival of 3-pointers, and the big man that was the MVP at last season's NBA playoffs has come out tops once again. Let's see if he can take his team to the finals of this one and possibly win the NBA this season. That's all for now on the Sports Update. Success, take it over.
Thank you so much, Jidichi. Very, very much, happy for Pep Guardiola. So we're moving straight into the tweet central for today. Covenant University is trending. Let's see why. Now, countless students graduate with first class from Covenant University, yet it doesn't diminish the standard of the school, and it remains one of the best schools in the country. But government uni professors think A is for God, B is for VC, C is for me, fight for the rest. Cruel sadist. This is coming from a Twitter user, Dr. Olufumilayo. Now, another tweet reads, I have seen countless students from Covenant University graduating with first class. This tells you how much the lecturers want the best for their students. But it is in the habit of Nigerian government university lecturers to frustrate intelligent students out of the school. Another Twitter user says, this one is coming from Mr. Fabi1. He says, how will I pay close to 6 million for my child's education and they will give her 2-2? And don't forget, these people have summer if you fail a course, unlike in federal university. So many other tweets coming up, how Twitter users are comparing private university, Covenant University, to a federal university. And this is coming from how Covenant University students are passing out with first class, and there's. What do you think, Michael? Yes,
I want to start by saying that we treated this matter yesterday, but we're bringing it back due to popular demand. All right. Yeah, talking about this, I would think that since this particular university in question has had consistent brilliant performance. I mean, the students coming from this university, and we've not had that much coming from
the federal universities.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
I think they carry the day. And all I have to say is that whatever makes these private universities tick should be looked at and copied by other universities which are not doing as well?
Excellently said. Excellently said, Michael. I don't even think I need to buttress any further. Just go on Twitter and, check it out for yourself. Maybe even tweet something that you think,
Sure.
Tweet your thoughts. Who knows?
Sure.
We might even see it. So before we go, we have to wrap up the show now.
Okay.
I'm going to leave you with this quote. It's from Winston S. Churchill. It says, "Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts." Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts.
Sound piece of advice there, if you ask me.
I agree.
And that's the way we're wrapping it all up on the show this morning. From Success.
I hope that your Oyinbo princess, as I like to call her, comes back tomorrow, of course. But it's been fantastic on here. Make sure to join us tomorrow. And if you miss this episode, if you miss the morning show, there's a repeat belt
Later today. And another one tomorrow, a fresh one.
Of course.
So thank you so very much for being part of it all. We have another very interesting episode coming your way tomorrow. I'm Michael Nas.
I'm Success Cameron. Goodbye.